That one. Good evening, guys. Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to episode number 41 of the FPL family for this season. I feel like before we start, I need to have a cathartic moment. I need to get this off my chest.
Was this going to be a Sam style rant?
It's got to happen.
Okay.
It's got to happen. Last night, it was last night, wasn't it? I haven't gone mentally insane.
What?
The Man City game.
Yeah.
Last night was just awful, guys. It was absolutely awful. I got in pretty late-ish from work and I thought, right, I'll check out who's playing. I'll see who's in the lineup. No Richarlison. What the hell? No Richarlison. Now, he'd been dropped and that's warranted, right? Because he's been absolute guff recently. So I can't blame him for being dropped. But no Richarlison. So that's 2 points locked in for him. So that's right. I'm like, all right. Then I looked at the City team. Thank Lord. Thankfully Sané's playing. Thank God Sané's playing. So at least now we can get this game week back on track. Excellent. Right. So no Richarlison. Gutted. But all right. Well, we've got Sané. So that's great. What the hell? What the hell, Leroy Sané? Hold off on 59 minutes. So not even the fact he didn't do anything for 59 minutes. He then got hauled off on 59 minutes. Didn't even get the bonus point for the clean sheet.
Okay, so my theory.
You need to calm me down, Colin.
My theory on this is that Pep is secretly an FPL manager.
This has been touted on Twitter this week.
Has it?
It has been touted.
He's secretly an FPL manager, and the person
He's just trolling us all.
The person beating him in his mini league had his vice captain on Sané, triple captain was on Aguero, and he thought, I've got to send Sané out there, but only for 58 minutes, so that he only gets 1 point, and the guy doesn't
it was
get
unreal. Have you ever known? And although, all right, it was a really, really bad game week for me, guys, and we'll talk about that in a second. It was pretty bad for you as well, but it was really bad for me. Captainers are like on cloud 9. Then it's the Aguero captainers are like, pretty much looking up at cloud 9 on, I don't know, cloud 6 or 5. And then on cloud -10 down here is me and everybody else looking up going, oh, wish I'd done. We said it, didn't we? You have to buy a ticket. You had to be part of that Man City double game week. You needed to buy a ticket. And I just bought the wrong ticket.
Do you know
the wrong ticket.
But what's been worse in all of this is that during the FPL show last week, I did.
Oh, don't go back and rewatch that. Whatever you do, we made some outrageous statements.
No, but I told everyone that Aguero was a nice comfort blanket, and if you can do it, get Aguero.
To be fair.
And I couldn't do it because I didn't have the money without disrupting the rest of my team, so I didn't do it. And I thought, I've got Sané, let's just ride it out because I don't want any of these players come game week 27 anyway. So let's just go with it with just Sané. Wow. But
Sané he hadn't played in the cup, he'd been rested, he was in a prime position. He was the one, wasn't he, to have? He'd been rested, bought off on 70 minutes the game before, and then he just not played the first game at all. And then to be hauled off after 59 minutes. So not even just that extra minute.
When you said that.
Just that extra minute would have just given me a little I don't know, quantum of joy in this game week. It would have been 4 more points, which in this game week, guys, I can tell you, would have been a dream. Would have been a dream. What did you end up on? I was on a 45. I was on 45, guys. That's how bad it was. Absolutely awful.
I think 60.
And I think my game week rank was something like 5.5 million or something.
But do you know what was
terrible?
Before we stop talking about game week 25 and
condemn
it to death,
we've got to move on.
What's really frustrating for me is that I was in such a good position after Saturday. Like, I had such a good game week. 4 players played. They'd done so well. Then Sunday rolled around and it was still going sort of okay because my Man United players had done well, and I was sort of like, right, okay, it's really gutting about Sané and the Aguero thing, but all right, they've got another game week. It might be okay.
It could be all right.
But my Liverpool players.
Bad result, wasn't it? Bad result for Liverpool. We're going to talk about that in a bit.
I mean, I'll take the Sané thing.
Yes.
And I'll deal with that. But Liverpool, unforgivable.
Yeah,
if I go all the way to Liverpool and they play like that.
Yeah, well, guys, as you will know, we're going to the Liverpool-Watford game in a couple of weeks. I think it's the end of February, isn't it? We're going up to Anfield to watch that game.
The next midweek games.
Liverpool need to improve. We need to improve before that game. Otherwise, we're going to be deeply, deeply upset. We're going to move on from double game week 25 pretty quickly, guys. A quick shout-out. So I was listening to the FPL Surgery pod on the way. So I was driving to Reading today for work, and I was listening to the Surgery. Listened to quite a few pods throughout the week. I do enjoy the Surgery. Bully, and shout-out to Iceman as well. Iceman triple captain Aguero this week. He's up to 750 in the world. And I don't mean K, Sam from FPL Family. I mean 750. He's absolutely smashing it. So shout out to the Iceman. Doing very, very well indeed. Bully for his sins did not have Aguero, so he's in our camp. He's
Did
in
he
our
have
camp.
Sané?
I think so. Yes, I think so.
Sort
so
of got
he's
away with it if you had Sterling, didn't you? But...
Yes. But I think he was in the Sané camp, whereas Iceman absolutely bought a ticket to the Aguero show, and it paid off. So, guys, that is enough. Enough about
No
double
more.
gaming.
No
That's
more.
it. Not talk about it anymore.
No more.
Forget it.
It's done.
Forget it. It's all now about Game Week 26. And you guys that are here nice and early, thank you guys for joining. We'll know that you'd have seen the graphic. This is our Game Week 26 preview videos. We're going to be looking ahead to the game week that's coming up on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday game. Monday game as well. Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Wolves. Okay, interesting.
Can't win on a Monday. Playing on a Monday.
Oh, here we go. Got some Sam stats about Wolves on a Monday.
Never won.
Of course you have.
4 games. Never won.
So this is Game Week 26 preview video, guys. We're going to be talking about all the fixtures, of course. We'll be doing transfers and who we're doing as captain, as Jammy Pick, and all that sort of stuff. I feel like I've missed some polls.
The man.
The polls. Oh yes, and of course it is Retro Thursday. You didn't decide you wanted to wear the shirt or any sort of retro shirt.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I thought that. Busy
You
prepping, weren't you?
didn't
Busy
remind me,
prepping.
did
Well, I
you?
was busy prepping as well.
Should I go and get one?
No, it's fine. You're all right where you are. But this is so I've gone for the retro. You'll have to wrap your game for next week. Here is our retro man for this week. Here he is. Who is this little beauty? Who did we have before? Razor Ruddock, wasn't it?
Yeah, this guy I think
There he
looks
is.
like Theresa May.
You said that last
Looks
time.
like Theresa May.
Is it the same guy?
Yes. No, this is the one that I said. We've got one that looks like Theresa May. It's
There
this
he is,
one.
guys. 10 FPL family points if you can guess who that is, and I think that's hard.
I can't believe I
that's
forgot
hard.
the retro Thursday.
We have to do
Why
next
didn't you say?
Thursday.
Why didn't you say?
Well, I was too busy doing this.
Why don't you say, Sam, where's your retro shirt?
Well, I didn't. I forgot.
Oh.
So here we go. So this is Game Week 26 preview, guys. We're going to say hello to a few of you. I just noticed, literally, as I came on, that Aubameyang is yellow flagged in the game.
Ill. Got cold.
Literally can't catch a break in the FPL at the minute. Cannot catch a break.
Both got colds.
I don't care about him. Aubameyang.
Give him a lemsip.
Give him a lemsip. Get him out there, for goodness sake. Absolutely ridiculous. Right, so here we go, guys. Let's say hello to a few of you. Otto Mild is in. How are you doing? He's saying Andy Carroll. I don't know in what context that is. Oh, for the player.
The man.
For the player. That's actually not a bad shout, that, Otto. Not a bad shout. It's not, but it's not a bad shout. Dylan Naidu is here.
It's another Euro 96 one.
It is another Euro 96, yeah, hence the shirt. Yeah, it's a Euro 96 shirt. That might give you a bit of an insight. Zachmo is here. Nelson Labor is here. Ian Barrett is here. How are you doing? Luca Elliott is here. Apples and Pears, which is a new name. We've not heard Apples and Pears on before, so welcome to the stream.
Watching from the stairs?
Could be. Who knows? Could be. And if you're new to the stream, hit that subscribe button, Apple and Pears, if you like what we do. We'd love you to subscribe. I'm going to switch over to my screen so I can do some scrolling up and down. Florin is here. How are you doing, Florin? Jared C is saying Timmy Sherwood with the smiley face. Well, all will be revealed towards the end of the stream, Jared.
I told you it's Theresa May.
It's definitely not Theresa May. Bill X, good evening. How are you doing? Kevin Mellier is here. How are you doing, Kevin? Mikael Larson, how are you doing? Joe Finley Badder is here. Hello to everyone except Aguero triple captain, as he says. No need to be bitter here, Joe. Not having any bitterness. And by the way, we're not talking about it anymore. We've moved on.
It's done.
It's done. Joe, we've moved on.
Game Week 25 is in the past. Somebody just asked to see him again.
Oh, there we go. Go on then. You need to go closer to the camera than that. Yeah, that's probably about right. There you go. So yeah, it's done. We're not even talking about it. Jack Ukaya says, it is Tim Sherwood. Well, all will be revealed. Zachmo, love the content. Thank you for joining, Zachmo. Wasim is here. Another Hoops. Navishka's here. And all sorts of you guys. So guys, thank you very much for joining. We're going to move let me move to here and then to here.
They were terribly made back in the day, weren't they, these?
Well, they weren't. They were about £2 or £3 each, weren't they? So even back then, that was next to nothing. You used to get them free with cereal and stuff, didn't you?
I think they did. I think that's where they've all come from. I'm pretty sure I got them free in Frosties or other breakfast cereals were available back in 1996.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Guys, get over to the polls, the little eye in the top right-hand corner. Here are the questions for this evening. Of course, Rushil has asked us a question. Rushil, the man, the myth, the legend on the polls. He has asked, who is your captain for Game Week 26? Is it Aubameyang, Pogba, Rashford, Son or Salah? So that is Rushil's question. Thank you for posting that, Rushil.
I think that this guy is Tim Ream because he's drunk.
This is falling over.
Won't stand up.
Literally just falling over, being turned inside out by forwards, left, right and centre. Navishka has asked the question. Thank you, Navishka, for asking the question. Navishka's surname, do you want to have a go at that?
Oh my goodness.
Otherwise, I'm going to have a go at it in a minute and fail miserably. I'm going to say Vijayawardena. Let's go with that.
It's not got an at the end, though.
And if we're wrong, Navishka, we apologise. But I think I've pronounced that right. But so let's call him Nav. Can we call him Nav? Nav, thank you very much for the question. He says, is Son Heung-min a must-have at the moment? Simple yes or no question. Is Son a must-have at the moment? Is he a must-have? Jack at FPL Jackpot asks, who are the best midfielders under 7 million? And actually, as I was coming on, he didn't give any options. So as I was coming on, I was having a look at some of the under 7 million midfielders. There's some decent picks in there, but it's a little bit of dross in there as well. So I've come up with 5 options for you to choose from under that question. And then the last question is one that I've completely forgot. What did we do? We did City players, didn't we? Of course, City players. Is it time to sell them? Is it time to keep them? If you've got Aguero, for example, what do you do? What do you do? Chelsea next, then a blank, but he's just got a hat-trick. So what do you do? So get in the polls, top right-hand corner, little eye up there. Hit the little eye, answer those 4 questions, and we will review your answers towards the end of the show. There's our Twitter on the left-hand side, at FPL Family. We're also at FPL Family on Instagram. Patreon.com/FPL Family if you want to get involved and support us. We will be reviewing the February Manager of the Month early runners, the front runners
Can't wait to see
for
the
this
guys
month.
that are doing well.
So there's guys up in the hundreds already.
I know, they're
in
brilliant.
the hundreds already. So guys, if you're in our Patreon league for February Manager of the Month and you're into the hundreds, you're off to a cracking start.
It's like more than double my score.
Well, yeah, and it's almost treble mine, so let's not even go there. Speaking of being off to a cracking start, the football this week kicks off at Craven Cottage. Fulham versus Manchester United. I'm going to say that is an away win all day long, but do you think Fulham... What do you think about Fulham at the moment? Are they the whipping boys? Rashford against Tim Ream, etc., etc. Is this going to go one way, or how do you feel about the game?
It's going to go one way in terms of the result, for sure. It's a United win all over, I think, that. But Fulham, they have been a bit better of late. I don't see them getting completely trounced.
Yeah, slightly.
Like, I don't see it being a complete whitewash. Fulham are at home at the end of the day. When I was looking up stats for MU Fan TV tonight, one of the things I found was that Mitrovic, he scored 10 goals this season. Did you know 8 of them have come at home?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very good.
I didn't realise that up until now.
He likes his home comforts.
Home fixtures, yeah. So, you know.
And a word on the Manchester United defence then, because I think if we're talking about...
What, that I'm now invested in?
Well, we talk about the Manchester United attack, but not for very long, because we've all got Pogba and Rashford, and I don't think you triple up. So there's not really much to talk about there, unless you're talking about getting off on one of those two, which I don't think is a very sensible suggestion right now. No. Despite the fact they've got the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain coming up on Tuesday, I think. So can you see Rashford or Pogba being rested a little bit in the Fulham game? I can see them both starting personally. Could they get hauled off if they're a couple of goals ahead? They could do, couldn't they? They could do.
But then if they're a couple of goals in, they've probably already got you some fantasy points anyway.
Quite right. So a word on the Manchester United defence then. 3 clean sheets in their last 3 away games for United. So starting to look a little bit better. And you invested in Lindelof at what appears to be absolutely the right time. So talk me through your decision last week to invest in Lindelof and your kind of hopes going forward for him.
In all honesty, Lindelof, he was an enabler, to be quite honest. I wanted Son. I felt I needed him. The FPLer in me needed him. The Spurs fan in me just wanted him.
He's the main man right now, right?
And I needed the money. So I needed to downgrade Alonso. I had, I don't know what it was, 4.9 or something like that to spend. And I don't know what it was. I just had the list of players up and there was just something about Lindelof and I kept looking at all the others because I kept going, no, don't be stupid. Man United defence, leave it alone. But I kept going back there. So in the end, I thought, right, I'm gonna call upon my Man U expert in Josh.
Right.
So I messaged Josh and I said, Josh, talk to me about Lindelof. And he didn't immediately go, you're an idiot, Sam. What are you doing? Step away from the FPL.
That's a good sign.
So when he didn't do that, I thought, okay, I'm just going to go with it. So I went with it, and what a good decision that was.
You see, this is how this tends to work, guys, isn't it? You can pore over the stats and everything, but sometimes you just need the money and you just take your gut feel with it. So I must admit, I think there's all sorts of stats, and I even just floated one out there right now about 3 clean sheets in the last 3 away games, like 3 in the last 5 games or something like that, clean sheets, or 3 in the last 6. On another day, Spurs could have had 6 goals against them if David De Gea hadn't performed one of the best games of his season.
Sure.
So then all of a sudden it's 2 clean sheets in 5, it's 2 clean sheets in 6, and not everyone's quite looking at them so much. So I can see why people are starting to invest. I'm still tentatively going with it, and against Fulham, I would say they have a pretty good chance of keeping Fulham out. But like you say, Mitrovic is good at home, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? That I needed the money elsewhere in my team. I just felt like I wanted I wanted to take a punt on somebody that I had a good gut feeling about. I had a good gut feeling about Lindelof. It's gone well so far. I'm going to play him against Fulham.
Okay.
Fulham, it could go either way. Fulham, depends what kind of team Fulham turn up with, didn't they? I mean, let's be honest. With the result against, was it Bournemouth last time out?
Yep.
It was a really weird game. But Bournemouth have been dire, so it's not like, you know, Fulham.
But they've been hit and miss. Bournemouth. They beat Chelsea 4-0. Remember?
But then it's different home and away, isn't it, with Bournemouth this season?
Sure.
So for me, kind of the Fulham that you saw against Bournemouth, is that necessarily going to be reflective of the Fulham we see against Man United?
Okay. All right. And if you were going to go Man United defence, then Lindelof or Shaw or maybe even David De Gea between the sticks, right?
Yeah.
Those I think are the safe picks.
They're the safe
picks, and Shaw. He might get you an attacking return or maybe an assist, but he hasn't really shown that, I don't think. I haven't really looked at the underlying stats to see whether he's bombing down that side or not. But in the past, he's been shown that he can get an assist or two. So any one of those three, I think, are reasonably safe. Azim Shakil is quite rightly saying, you know, United were fortunate not to concede against Leicester as well. So, yeah, maybe. Maybe they've been fortunate, Man United. But listen, you know, that you make your own luck, I think, in these games. And, you know, with David De Gea between the sticks, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Let's fast forward to Sunday afternoon and talk about the blue side of Manchester then. So Man City back at the top of the table. A decent result the other night against Everton at Goodison. I mean, I think it was on a knife edge, that game, up until the 97th minute when, of course, Jesus put them 2-0 up. But for long periods of that second half, Everton, I think, not that I watched the game, but from what I heard on Twitter, what I saw on Twitter and heard on Sky Sports News, they had chances, Everton. They had chances. They could have got back into that game. So I wouldn't say City are necessarily hitting top gear right now, but if you've got City assets, which of course you have in Sané, what are you planning to do with Sané going forward? Because the fixtures, of course, are Chelsea this week and then a blank. What are you doing with them?
In an ideal world, I'd stick him in a case and post him off somewhere around the world as quickly as possible.
Right, okay.
So I only have Sané on the basis that he had a double game week and I needed a City player. That is the honest.
He was your ticket. That was the ticket you wanted to buy.
Honest reason why I have him.
Sure.
I don't have him because I want him. I don't have him because I feel the need to invest in Man City. I haven't invested in Man City all season and it's not done me that badly. My rank suggests that, you know, you can survive without Man City.
So you want Sané out as quickly as possible?
As ASAP.
And if you were going to do that right now, who would you get?
Don't know. I'd probably go for another cheapie and then put some money back. Because at the moment, my midfield is ridiculously expensive. And I kind of feel like I'd take some money out of Sané and invest it back in the defence, possibly. Or if the word is true and the Messiah is returning, then it's going back up top, isn't it?
Well, I noticed Kane's been pictured in training, right? He's out in Dubai and he's got
he's not in Dubai. That's Delhi. He's in Dubai.
I thought I saw some videos of Kane with the kind of rubber band around his knee doing some like stretching work.
In the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas?
Yeah, because he went to the Super Bowl as well. So he's been in the Bahamas.
Goodness me. He just wanted a little break, didn't he?
I don't know, but Dele Alli's been out there feeding the animals at the zoo and he's running around with the
ball.
Having a lovely time.
Poor old son is back here in 4 degrees heat and the snow, putting in a massive shift, even though he's physically and mentally empty. Kane and Ali lording it up in Barbados together. What a joke.
Dele's in Dubai.
What is going on here?
But the word is he's going to be back for the Borussia Dortmund game. So if he's back, you know what's happening, don't you?
Sané out to war prowls and get Kane in.
Anything to enable Kane. Bye Firmino. Hello, Kane.
So guys, that is the word on Kane. I have heard that he is potentially back for the Dortmund game. Now the Dortmund game, the first Dortmund game?
Yes,
which is Wednesday.
Yes.
Has he been on the horse placenta?
I don't care what he's been on.
There's a reference from 2 seasons ago with Robin van Persie. Anybody remember the horse placenta? That was ridiculous, wasn't it? So Kane has been pictured not just back in training, but looks as if reports suggest he could be back for that game, which is absolutely crazy. So your view is Sané out, take the money out, and then reinvest it up top for Firmino to Kane, I guess.
Woohoo!
That's what you're thinking. I can already. You're so predictable.
The joy in my face.
I can see it already. So you're going to have Son and Kane, aren't you?
If by Valentine's Day, Son and Kane are in my team, that's literally that's Valentine's Day made. That is.
Good Lord. All right. Well, listen, we've deviated away from Manchester City, but I think what you're saying is if you've got their assets, you probably want to get rid.
Yeah. So I think. So going back to your original question before I went off on a Kane sidetrack, I would ideally like to get rid of Sané immediately. However, my plan is to continue with my strategy of holding transfer and having 2. So I think I'm going to hold transfer for game week 26, which means I will have Sané for that game. And then I will transfer him out and have 2 transfers in order to enable game.
Over the blank.
Over the blank.
Over the blank. With a view to getting Harry back.
Yes!
Goodness me, and how excited you are. The game itself, City versus Chelsea. How are you feeling about that game? Do you think Chelsea can go to the Etihad and get something there, or is City going to continue their relentless march? I say relentless march. I wouldn't say that, like I said before, I think they've been amazing. Just getting points. I would love a stat. Go on, I would love a stat.
Chelsea unbeaten in 7 fixtures against the defending champions.
Are they really?
Yeah. Pep has lost the last 3 Premier League matches versus Chelsea. And Chelsea have done the double over City 10 times, which is more than any other side. Chelsea are going to do it.
Listen to those stats.
There you
Chelsea
go.
are going to win at the Etihad.
I don't have a hat.
You're going to do what with your hat?
Put it on it.
You can put your hat on what?
Chelsea winning.
Chelsea. All right. Well, I'll eat that hat if Chelsea win at the Etihad. City need to win. They've got to win. Chelsea. It depends what David Luiz turns up. If the David Luiz that's playing really well turns up, they might do all right.
hat-trick incoming.
I don't know.
Edison flapping incoming.
Listen, I'd be more than happy to see Chelsea win.
You celebrating a Chelsea victory like has never happened in the past.
I know, never happens, right? But I think so. The Higuain and Hazard chemistry, we've got to see whether it's going to come to the fore in a decent game. Like the Huddersfield game, yes, it did come to the fore, but it's Huddersfield. They won 4-0 and it was an easy game, 5-0, I think actually. Hazard has a tendency to play really well in the big games. A big game player. Higuain, we know all about him. He's a big game player as well. You'd like to think that both of those guys are going to turn up and give Man City a game. I can't see it myself. I can't see it. Let's see what you guys are saying in the live chat.
They'll think I've gone mad, probably.
Possibly. Maxim is saying Hazard will score. Interesting. All right, Edison to concede a Hazard pen. FPL Classico is saying. Shaul is saying, here goes Lee again. Does he never learn? I don't know what I've said that's prompted that reaction, but Shaul, you're probably right. I do never learn when it comes to FPL. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Possibly. Nothing relentless about City at the moment. Vinyl Richie is saying, yeah, like I say, that they are. Yeah, that was the wrong word for me to use. They are getting results, but it's not the relentless City that we're used to. Do you know what I mean? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Let's see. Alba is a must. We're going to come to Alba in a little bit. Aguero is the only attacking player worth it for Man City. FPL eye test is saying. At the moment, he says.
Even then, with the blanks coming up, is it worth it?
And do you think Sané and Kurt Peter is saying, will Sané be benched versus City? And I think I heard on a pod somewhere, it might even have been the surgery, that Pep doesn't fancy Sané in those teams against the top teams. He often finds the bench against the top teams. So even though he only played 70 minutes in the last game, do we think that Sané could even be benched this weekend against Chelsea?
Probably. Pep loves to bench people that don't play very well in a game. If they have a bad game, he loves to bench them because he can.
Yeah.
So, Sané has not exactly set the world on fire in the last couple of games.
He has not. Do you think there's
why not?
Do you think there's a problem there between them two? There's a problem between Pep and Sané. I just know there was somebody took a really good picture, and it was on the sort of official FPL Twitter feed, and it was of Sané coming off, and he shot Pep this look as he come off. As if to say,
you've cost me 4 bonus points.
That's what he mean. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Do you not know I've triple captained myself? I think it was a look that said, like, what are you doing? I said, how dare you bring me off? We're only 1-0 up. How dare you bring me off? And I just think that sort of attitude, and I've heard that Sané, his sort of attitude in the changing room is one of, it's the same regardless whether they win or lose.
Right.
He's very nonplussed. If they win, he'll sit there and be like,
just quite chilled out.
And if he's lost, he'll sit there, yeah. And I think Pep is a sort of manager when, if a team wins and Sané's sitting there going, whatever, I've scored a goal, I think he's cool with that. But he likes a reaction. I've watched that All or Nothing documentary on Amazon Prime, and he doesn't like it when people don't care that they've lost. And potentially Sané's coming across as he doesn't care that he's lost.
Right, okay.
And Sané and Pep might be punishing it. I don't know. It's a bit all hearsay.
The other thing with Sané is what's happening with Mendy, because if you're playing
Mendy, there's that as well.
I don't see him playing Sané.
Yeah.
And we were sort of on tenterhooks as to whether Mendy was going to play over the double game week, and that was one of my fears as a Sané owner, was Mendy. Now, obviously, if Mendy is suddenly back, which he's going to be imminently,
yes, A lot of you are saying Sané is gone. FPL Classico, Sané's gone. Otto Miles, Sané is gone. I don't know if you mean his head's gone in the game or whether he's actually gone from your teams. Could be both. Could be both. Nim Freya, hey Nim, how you doing? She is saying Pep plays FPL, which could be absolutely right.
Pep ruins my life a lot.
He's ruining everybody's life this week for sure. And I did see, Maxim saying as well, Pep's surprise for the next game, Mendy's return. Yeah, possibly. Let's keep our eyes on the conferences, on the press conferences, and find out if Pep's going to give us any hints. He doesn't often do it, does he?
But I'm going with Chelsea in that game.
You're going for an away win in that game. I'm going for a very narrow home win. I'm going for a very narrow home win. I just think they will find a way to win that game. So that's City versus Chelsea. The other game on Sunday is Spurs versus Leicester. Now, Leicester have been making it very difficult for the big sides that they're playing. They actually seem to be pretty guff against the small sides. But when they've played Liverpool recently, when they've played... Who else did they play that made it difficult for? Was it Arsenal? Maybe City? Can't remember. But when they play the bigger sides, they tend to make it difficult. So do you think they're going to go to Wembley and make it difficult for Spurs? Or do you think Spurs are just going to walk all over them? And give me your thoughts on Son Heung-min then. Right. Go on, while we're here. Go on.
For a start, nobody needs to come and make it difficult. We make it difficult for ourselves at the moment. We wait till the last 10 minutes of a game before we actually win a game. So they don't need to come and make it difficult. I did see some stats
about that in terms of how Spurs are winning games very late.
The last three.
Last three games
we've won in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes Spurs seem to get a goal from somewhere. It's the fitness that... I just think that shows us great mentality.
Well, I think it's just that we know that we need to keep up the pace. Getting draws. That's why we hold the Premier League record now, don't we? For the most games without a draw. 29.
Is that what it is?
29.
Have you drawn a game this year?
No.
No? Really? Okay.
No. 29 Premier League games without a draw. Not a draw this season. So this will go one way or the other.
Okay.
So see, Leicester. It's difficult, isn't it, with Leicester, because it's normally Harry that scores lots of goals against Leicester. Son, 5 goals in his last 2 Premier League starts, 3 goals and 2 assists.
No doubt he's the man on form. No doubt.
He is the man. I think...
Do you think... Would you go as far to say he's carrying Spurs right now?
Yes, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
I think, and I said this to you when we were watching. What game was it we were watching? I don't know. I can't remember. We were watching Spurs together, and I was saying to you, bring on Danny Rose, because when Danny Rose is playing, Sonny is like a man possessed. It was the game where we won in the last minute the other Sunday.
The last game against Newcastle. It was because Vertonghen played wide, and Vertonghen is just not a wide player.
Yeah.
So what he did was put Vertonghen off, put Rose there, put Llorente up front and Son at 10, and you were immediately a better side. And
I think that is something that has been proven over the last few game weeks. It's when Danny Rose is playing, the way that he plays suits that style of play with Llorente up top and with Son. It just enables them to have better games.
I know that when you say Llorente like that, and I don't want to talk about him too long because as we've already alluded to, seems like Kane is back pretty soon. I think you're giving Llorente a bit of a hard time there. I think he's come in and done pretty well, given that he's also quite a big physical player. He's not the sort of player that's going to come in and immediately get up to the pace of games, right? He's the wrong side of 30 now. He's a big physical guy. He's going to need a run of games to get up to pace.
Yeah,
it's a shame for him because I think he's just starting to put in some decent performances. Well, look, and he's going to get kicked out for Kane, but it is what it is. He's no Harry Kane, right?
The thing is, with Kane coming back, we'll learn a lesson from Kane coming back this time last year, which was that he came back too quickly, too early. And they played him too much when he first came back, and he just didn't find his feet. So I don't think we'll see that happen this year. I think Kane will be back, but he'll be back in selected games to ease him back up to it, in the same way that he did with Ali and Eriksen.
So let's not get away from Son though. Son carrying the team right now.
Yeah.
Goals and assists in his last few games, as you mentioned.
5. Yeah.
Bang on form. Mentally and physically exhausted, but for some reason. And when I watch him, it's incredible. The guy just does not stop running, does he? He does not stop running. He works so hard, covers so much ground. And as you guys are saying in the live chat, looks absolutely essential. You guys are saying he's a seasoned keeper, right? And Mark Erskine is saying, I think Llorente is a must for Son. I think you're right. I do think Son is a better player when you've got that player up top and not a Moura or a Lamella or somebody like that. We've got the big physical presence up top. Son is a better player. I can't believe that you're going to go into that Leicester game and Poch is not going to start that game with the team he ended the Newcastle game with. It's surely Llorente.
I think so.
It's surely Son in behind, and it's surely
Danny
two
Rose.
genuine wingers in Rose and Trippier. Right?
I think so. I think so. I think with a side like Leicester, we need to win these games. I know that everyone's talking about the title race with Liverpool and Man City, and in all honesty, that is the title race. It is you too. However, we are only 5
No
points.
way, you're in it. You're absolutely 100% in it.
No, we're not in it. So do a pet.
You're
do
like
a
Poch.
Do a Poch. No. But we are only 5 points behind, and with the teams and the games that with Man City playing Chelsea. You've got some difficult. We've got to play both of you over the next few weeks.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to Old Trafford, I think, in the next game week, or maybe the one after. Yeah.
We've got to play you. We've got to play Chelsea. We've got to play Man City. So that all the big sides are going to start playing each other. At the end of all of that, these games versus the likes of Leicester and Newcastle, they're the games that you have to win.
Okay.
And so I think we go out to win that game.
So Son in, you would say? I know he's already in for you, but if you didn't have him, in.
Yes, and if you don't get rid of Richarlison for Son, you are absolutely bonkers.
Well, you say that as if it's a really easy thing to do. Richarlison is 6.5, Son is 8.5. So unless you've got 2 million sitting around, you can't do it.
Have you?
No, I haven't. So I'd have to spend points to get Son, unless I
Okay.
did Sané to Son, which is something I'm considering this week. Absolutely.
No
So
brainer.
I think he's absolutely on form, but I just can't help but look back at that game against Newcastle and just think. He should have had 3 points that game. He just should have had 3 points. I know he ended up getting 11, but he should have had 3 points. And it's on that basis that I'm probably going to roll my transfer, and he's probably going to absolutely destroy Leicester. The other additional benefit to getting Son in is, of course, in game week 27, when you've got City blanking and you've got Chelsea blanking, you've got Liverpool playing Manchester United. So it's a really tricky game week to pick up, where you might captain a player. Outside of Arsenal, who I think are playing a nice home game, Spurs, I think, have got a pretty nice game too, right? Let's have a look. Spurs away to Burnley, yes, of course. So Arsenal at home to Southampton. And the way that Southampton are playing right now, that potentially tricky.
Actually, the stats on Southampton are really positive.
Yeah, and we'll come to those guys in a minute. But Spurs away at Burnley, maybe Son is actually a captaincy option for 27. Son as a captaincy option for this game week, 26?
Yep.
I think you've got to have a look at him, haven't you? I think you've got to have a look at him.
I think there is one obvious standout captain choice, and then there's Son, and he is next.
You think
he is my vice captain?
I think it's two obvious options. One that's potentially ill, and the other one who's Egyptian, and then I think it's Son. But listen, you guys are saying Sané to Son, do it. Peter Gray saying Sané to literally anyone. It doesn't matter. Josh Oram, Spurs are in the title race. FPL Classico. Get Sonley. Pep still plays FPL and will troll Sané even more. Son is definitely going to play.
Can you imagine if actually there comes out there's a picture of just Pep with his phone out, just looking at checking his fantasy team at the weekend?
Don't even go there.
Absolutely love.
J-Boy is here. 6:30 in Australia. 6:30 in the morning in Australia. He says. Thank you very much for joining us, J-Boy.
Enjoy your Friday.
Ahmed Abdul is saying thoughts on James Maddison's blanks. We're going to come to those guys very, very briefly. I want your thoughts on the Ericsson to leave in the summer, James Maddison into Spurs in the summer rumours.
Stop talking nonsense.
I'm just relaying what I've seen on Twitter. That's all I've said.
Right. Ericsson's not leaving, and even if he does, I'm not having that troll Maddison appearing anywhere near my team and just troll me again, but in a personal life rather than in my FPL life. Moving on, Vardy. If anyone has still got Vardy, actually might not be a bad option this week. 7 goals in the last 7 appearances versus 7 goal involvements. Versus Spurs in the last 7 appearances. 4 goals, 3 assists.
Okay, interesting.
So does like to score against us. So maybe not clean sheet there.
You touched on Saints there, so let's go to Saints next, because I think there's a couple of really nice options knocking around in that Saints squad. I think they're a bit unlucky, obviously, to drop points against Burnley in the last game week, or was it the one before? Can't remember. The 1-1 with Burnley where they conceded like the 94th minute, and Barnes went and had a massive row with the ref and the line-out, didn't he? But the Saints do look pretty good, and if we have a look at their fixtures going forward, I don't think it looks too bad. Cardiff and then Arsenal, then Fulham. So there's 2 really, really nice home games there, and then Manchester United and Tottenham, so they get a bit more difficult in the medium term. But Cardiff and Fulham at home in the next 3 doesn't look too bad for the Saints. I think actually after Spurs, I think it continues to get a bit more difficult. But as a short-term punt, how do you feel about James Ward-Prowse? How do you feel about Redmond? What are you thinking?
I feel very positively about James Ward-Prowse. 3 goals in the last 4 game weeks. And actually, before this game week, we've just had 9-10-10 was his point totals.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's
on penalties as well with no Danny Ings.
Yeah, he's on pens when Danny Ings doesn't play. Last 4 game weeks, he's created 12 chances, which is double that of anyone else in the Southampton team. He's had 8 successful corners in the last 6 matches, which is 3rd in the list of corner takers out of the whole of the game.
Right.
And Cardiff, again, who he's got to play against, have conceded 106 opportunities, which is only going to feed him. I think he's a great option.
I think he is as well. And you're going to break the bank to get him. 5 million, I think, maybe 5.1 now, I don't know. But I think he's at 5-ish million. Like you say, the underlying stats look very, very good. I'm thinking of a Southampton double-up with Bednarek and James Ward-Prowse, which, frankly, is what I've been reduced to this season in FPL. But I do think that Ward-Prowse is a good option. I like him at home to Cardiff. I like him at home to Fulham in game week 28. After that, you'd maybe think about what you want to do with him, but you're probably happy to bench, I think, at 5 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think James Ward-Prowse is a good option. I did a bit of a Fantasy Football Scout members comparison between James Ward-Prowse and Nathan Redmond before I came on in terms of their minutes per chance created and touches in the final third and stuff.
Right.
I should have screenshot it and put it on here, guys, but let me just tell you that Ward-Prowse wipes the floor with Nathan Redmond.
Yeah.
Absolutely wipes the floor with him statistically. And I know Redmond has scored a goal recently, but with James Ward-Prowse probably on penalties as well. I'd have to confirm that, but I think he has scored a penalty, hasn't he, this year?
If Ings isn't on the pitch, Ward-Prowse takes the pen.
He's definitely scored from the penalty spot this year. And he's on set pieces as well. I mean, what more do you want? 5 million at home to Cardiff.
No, I mean we talked about him on the I talked about him on the FPL show last week. I think he's a really, really nice option. He's a really nice enabler.
1.9% TSB, by the way.
Yeah, and I think
1.9.
I mean, to me, I don't know that he's anyone's a Sané replacement, but for me, I'm kind of looking at Fraser, thinking, well, you've not done anything now for a fair few game weeks, so actually maybe it's time that I had a new enabler in that Fraser position, and James Ward-Prowse looks like a nice option to me.
Well, maybe. Well, let's segue then onto Fraser and Bournemouth, who go to Anfield this weekend.
Good luck.
The one thing that I did notice in recent times watching Liverpool is their susceptibility, if that's the right word. I don't know, vulnerability maybe is a better word, at set pieces. I don't think we're anywhere near as well organised without Matip. And I'm not about to sit here and say how great and the best defender in the world Lovren is, but actually Lovren looks way better than Joel Matip. Joel Matip looks really out of his depth at the moment. It's not helping. It certainly didn't help in the last game at Anfield against Leicester when Gini Wijnaldum was not fit. That didn't help because I think Gini Wijnaldum has been a real unsung hero for Liverpool this season. And of course, Trent missing at right back is a big miss. And Klopp must be kicking himself for loaning Klein out to Bournemouth. So I don't think Klein's going to play this game. So that means somebody like... Who's going to come in there? Charlie Daniels or maybe Smith? I don't know. Someone in that position.
Charlie Daniels scored last game week.
He did, yeah. So potentially they're a bit more vulnerable on that side. But listen, I really would like to think that is a home win for Liverpool, and I do think it will be a home win for Liverpool. But the point about Bournemouth and about Fraser, and you're talking about getting Fraser out, is that Liverpool have recently looked susceptible to set pieces. Well, who takes a Bournemouth set pieces? It's Fraser. Now, right now in my bus team, Fraser is third sub. But just as I was coming on, I said to you, didn't I? Perhaps he shouldn't be. Perhaps he shouldn't be. Perhaps he should be first or second sub. I don't know. So give me a view on the game. How do you see it? How do you see it playing out? And I think, as you guys are saying, Otto Mild is saying, and FPL Chancer both saying Trent back in training today. So I think you're right. I think Trent is going to be back for that game, and it's a long overdue return. I can tell you, we've missed him. We've missed him.
The stats on this game suggest nothing but a Liverpool victory. Bournemouth have only beaten Liverpool once in 15 matches in all competitions. Liverpool haven't gone 2 matches without a win at home since December 17. And
wow.
Obviously,
okay, wow.
you didn't win the last time you played there. Salah. 5 goals in 3 appearances versus Bournemouth. Firmino, 3 goals, 3 assists in 6 Premier League appearances versus Bournemouth. It's a Liverpool win.
And Salah, of course, got the hat-trick when we went to the Vitality, which doesn't seem that long ago, actually. A couple of months ago, I think. Got the hat-trick in that game and pretty much retired Steve Cook that game, didn't he, if you remember rightly? So all the stats point to a Liverpool victory, but we are not playing with our usual joie de vivre, are we? Let's be honest.
But... when you were second before, that's when you were playing really, like you were when you got something to chase, that was when you were really performing. It was when you were having to hold.
Do you think there's a mentality problem with Liverpool then, do you? You think it's a nerves thing? It's we don't like being chased, we prefer chasing?
I think there's a real... I think you're a bit like us, to be honest. I think you're not used to being top of the league, and when you do get there, you kind of go, "Oh my God, what are we doing up here?"
There's no good territory, yeah.
And then you panic, and then you see what happened against West Ham on Monday night, and they looked nervous. They didn't look right. They just were all bent out of shape, all of them. And even Alisson, he was having an absolute faff at the back at one point towards the end of the match. And you find yourself thinking, I think with Liverpool, we will see the Liverpool side that we've been used to seeing this season against Bournemouth this weekend.
And talk to me about the Liverpool defence then. So would you go for the Liverpool double up at the back? I've got Robertson and Trent right now, and I have to tell you, I'm not that keen, even if Trent is back.
To play them both.
To play them both, because I see Bournemouth as a reasonably attacking side. They can score against us for sure.
But that's why it will suit you, because Bournemouth will come and they'll try and attack you, and that will help you because you'll get in behind in the way that I suspect he should play Shaqiri in this game, because that will help you get in behind Bournemouth when they're attacking.
Yes, I think you're probably right.
I wouldn't play both. No. I'll play Robbo on the basis that there's attacking returns for Robbo. So even if the clean sheet goes, there's the opportunity there for some attacking returns from him, but I wouldn't double up on the Liverpool defence. Okay.
Nelson Lobo is saying Liverpool are going to come straight out the blocks, got to put the pressure back on the City.
100%.
Vinyl Rich is saying, if on Robertson and Salah, would you rather get, if you were going for a Liverpool treble up, Mane or Trent? And I feel like we've been here before with this. Is it the forward double up or the defensive double up? Given Mane showing a bit of form recently, but Trent is back, so therefore you would expect us to improve defensively. Within 5 or 10 seconds, what do you think? Mane or Trent there for Vinyl Richie?
I don't fancy the double up in the defence.
You still don't fancy the double up in defence? Not while Matip is there, I have to tell you. Not while Matip is there. So I think the answer to that, Richard, is we're going Mane, I think, if you're going to double up on Liverpool.
Get Sunday.
Carry256 is saying Spurs to win the league. Spurs to win the league.
He's a Spurs fan.
Nimfrio is saying, I wanted Mane this week, not sure I can afford it. That is the other thing. He's a pretty expensive player, but if you were going to go Sané to Mane, I think that's a viable move, isn't it? I think they're about the right sort of money.
Yeah, Sané to anyone.
Sané to literally anyone, as Peter Gray was saying earlier. We haven't got time to go through all of the rest of the games. One or two I want to pick out. Arsenal at Huddersfield. Arsenal win, right? Away win. Can't see anything other than an Arsenal win there. Huddersfield are the whipping boys, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going with
Huddersfield haven't won a competitive match versus Arsenal since 1971.
How many competitive games have they played against Arsenal since 1971?
12.
Oh, they have actually played a few games.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so they've got a bad record against Arsenal. Anyone playing Huddersfield right now, you've got to back the team, right? And I just think Lacazette, Aubameyang, all your favourites are going to be a good option. I'll be so annoyed if Aubameyang misses that game with a cold. I will be absolutely fuming, Sam from FPL Family. I will.
I'll just give you a stat to make... If there's a Huddersfield fan amongst us, they might want a bit of hope. So, some hope
there's
for
no
you.
Huddersfield fans amongst us.
Huddersfield fans. Arsenal haven't won in their last 6 Premier League away matches. Lost the last 3.
They're not great away from home.
No, so...
and as FPL Lawyer is saying, Aubameyang hasn't scored a away game for a while.
No.
I don't genuinely remember the last time he scored a goal actually away from home. So it could be about something there.
And he's ill anyway, so...
And he's ill. Give that man a Lemsip. Goodness me. Where else do we want to go? Everton versus Watford. Very, very tricky game for Everton. That even if they're on form, that's a tricky game for Everton. But they are woefully off form, and Richarlison looks like a spent force. And I think, to be honest with you, he's got to go this week for me.
Look how little notes I wrote on Watford, because I knew you were only going to give him 42 seconds. So I didn't really bother.
But Everton look like a spent force. So does Richarlison. I wonder whether we're seeing the same Richarlison that we did at the back end of last season. Feels like it, doesn't it? Watford have got some nice options though, and I do expect them to win that game. And I expect a clean sheet. I'll be sitting there at... Yeah, it's a 3 o'clock game, so I'll be sitting there hanging on to the Foster clean sheet at the death, waiting for that to happen.
Do you know what? I know this is a stupid thing to say, but in those last 10 minutes of matches, it's one of the highlights of my weekend. Is Lee just going, "It's that time, Sam"?
I don't even mention it until like 5 minutes on the end.
Sam from FPL Family, it's that time. And I'm like, what time? And then I'm like, oh, it's the last 10 minutes. It's Foster time.
Palace versus West Ham.
That is it. That's genuinely it. We're moving on.
Oh, you're moving on. We're coming towards 49 minutes. Palace and West Ham. Anything to say about those guys? West Ham played very, very well against Liverpool from what I saw of that game. Felipe Anderson, you've got rid.
Yeah.
Fancy him back in? What if West Ham fixtures look pretty good?
Well, maybe.
Not against Palace away. That's a tough fixture, right?
Maybe I might get him back in, depends, because obviously he's that much cheaper than Sané, so I could go back to Felipe Anderson and maybe jiggle a bit of jiggy hokey pokey to get in Kane.
Heavily scouting Batshuayi that game, I must admit. I'm not bringing him in, but heavily scouting him. That's the sort of game where 3 o'clock, I know it's a London derby, but West Ham, I just got this, and this was my bitter redness coming out during that West Ham Liverpool game. I just thought they got so many
prima donnas.
Yeah, they got Hernandez and
like
Anderson and Antonio. They just love being on the telly and they love playing in front of the cameras against the big sides. Yeah. They'll go to Palace and get spanked 3-0, won't they? You can see it.
Well, the stats say they won't.
Sorry, West Ham fans.
So Palace have never won versus West Ham in the Premier League in 8 games. West Ham have won 3 of the last 4 away matches versus Palace in all competitions. The other one's been a draw. And Snodgrass, directly involved in 3 goals in the last 2 appearances in the Premier League versus Palace. 2 goals and 1 assist.
Is he really?
The stats are in West Ham's favour. But I agree with you. I think it's Palace victory.
Okay, all right. I think I will go for a home win there as well. Could be a draw. Let's have a look at that. So, let's have a look at teams then for the weekend. So, how do I do that? Let's have a look. How do I do that? It's FPL. Should really know.
You're an expert in the game.
Yeah.
Can you work out how to use the app, please?
Really not. I'm surprised people even turn up to this anymore. I got asked by FF Scout to do. So David Monday asked me to write a piece for them during the week. I was just like, are you sure people are even interested in what I've got to say anymore? 100k rank drop this week. People aren't listening to me.
Do you know what's really frustrating? I said this to you, and we were talking just literally before we came on. Is that the really frustrating thing is that game week 25, because of Pep and Sané and the nonsense that went on, like all of that good work that you and I did, kind of growing our rank, it's just all been wiped out in one foul game week.
Look, we're not talking about it because we've moved on, aren't we? We're not talking about it anymore. But I sat here for how many weeks did I sit here and say game week 19? Absolutely ruined my season. It ruined my season 19, and I spent the next 5 weeks not taking too many gambles, really taking a lot of time over my transfers, and I'd got just up into I was at 100k.
You were on the cliff of 100k, weren't you?
Just about to go into 99k, and then the double game week was just like, nah, mate. Kick me back down you go.
Doubled your game week. It doubled your overall rank. It doubled my overall rank.
It was just so. But we're not talking about it. We're not, because we've finished with it, and we're not talking about it.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't exist.
I'm not bitter, and I'm over it.
Put it in the box to bury with game week 19.
It's gone. I'm not even talking about it anymore. FPL lawyer, Sunday ruined my life. Yes, that's absolutely right. Right, so here is my team for the game week, and I have to tell you, as I was coming on, I am bored of this team. I'm bored of that team. Isn't that a boring team? Look at it. It's so template. I've got Rashford, Salah, Pogba and Jimenez, who everyone's got. Robertson, Doherty, Wan-Bissaka, that pretty much everyone's got. Sané, which everyone can't wait to get rid of. Bednarak is that's my exciting bit of my team. Bednarak.
And Foster.
Sitting here waiting for the Foster clean sheet.
So basically what you're telling me is that your whole hope for game week 26 is on the cheapest defender in the game that plays and Foster.
Yeah, I'm bored of my team.
Wow.
I'm bored of my team. But to be honest, I'm not unhappy with it. I'm bored, but I'm not unhappy. Because I look at those and I think, well, on paper, that should do pretty well this week, shouldn't it?
Well, it should have done pretty well in 25 as well.
Look, Bournemouth, Newcastle, West Ham and Cardiff all at home at the back there. Foster at home to Everton. Pogba and Rashford going to Fulham. Aubameyang, as long as he's not got a snotty nose, can play against Huddersfield. I like the look of my team. I'm just bored with it. So I don't know whether to just mix it up. I mean, Richarlison and Sané have got to go, right? They've got to go. I don't want to bring in Son because that's what everyone's doing. I just feel like that's just such a template move. I do like Ward-Prowse. I'm feeling Richarlison to Ward-Prowse. I'm feeling like that could happen.
I'll be so pleased if Richarlison finally leaves your team.
Yeah, but then I'm sitting there hoping that Bednarak and Ward-Prowse are the ones to do the business. I just feel like it just sort of feels so dull. It feels so boring.
You can't seriously be suggesting get on Mkhitaryan.
So that would be an exciting move, though. I kind of see where Nim is coming from there, right? Mkhitaryan would be...
God.
Imagine if he scored, it'd actually be exciting. Or at least if he even started, it'd be exciting. I just feel a bit bored with my team. I think I've got... Not that we're talking about it anymore. I've got double game week fatigue. Last game week just was so annoying for me. I feel like I need to have a solid...
Yeah, but
good game week, and then I'll be back in the mood, I'm sure.
The trouble is all these players that you're touting as differentials, with the exception of perhaps James Ward-Prowse, really, because I think that is a good idea. But like Mkhitaryan, he's just as bad a troll as Richarlison is. So is Maddison. Like all of these guys, they're just all as bad as each other. Mkhitaryan, Richarlison, Maddison, all of them. Sané, put Sané in that camp as well. They're all as bad as each other.
David Golick saying Mickey is a god-awful idea.
Yes, I agree.
Sorry,
he's a troll. He just trolls everyone. He'll play a game and you think, oh, yeah, he's really good, and then you won't see him for weeks. He'll get benched like Ozil.
And Nim is saying she said it'd be exciting. Didn't say it'd be good. She's not promising any returns there for Mickey. She's just saying it'd be exciting.
It won't be exciting because I've got to live with him while he's got him in his team. It will be hell on earth.
True. So there's my bus team.
Game week 25.
I've got Salah as captain in my bus team right now. Assuming we get some more positive news about Aubameyang, if he can blow his nose, then I do actually fancy Aubameyang for captaincy. That's the one I'm probably going to go with.
Well, even if he's flagged?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I suppose if he's ill and if he doesn't start, he's not going to play, is he? So it's not a risk. He's not going to come on for a minute.
But if he's ill, there's a pretty good chance he's on the bench, though, isn't he? There's a pretty good chance he's benched and he comes on for like 20 minutes to see
No, I don't think he is. I think if he's not injured, is he? He's ill. If he's ill, he can't play. He's not going to be contaminating the rest of the team. He just won't be there.
Yeah. Well, listen, but there we go. So that's my bus team right now. I'm a bit bored with it. I'm not unhappy. I'm just a bit bored with it. Kevin Millier is saying I'm having an FPL meltdown. You could well be right, Kevin. You could well be right, my friend.
I might change his password so we can't make any
Not for the first time this season, I hasten to add. Let's move swiftly on from my pile of boring guff to your
mine.
team, which is looking really a lot better.
No, it's not. Look, my rank.
What's wrong with an over rank of 16k?
Because it was
Get over it.
It was at 7 before game week 25 hit.
Get a grip, woman. 16k. Oh my God. 200k.
I don't think you can tell your wife to get a grip,
I definitely can. There are experienced, top quality elite FPL managers in the 500 and 600k, Sam. That's how weird this season has been. You're in 16k and you're moaning. I'm not having it. I'm not having it, Sam, from FPL Family. Talk us through your team for the weekend. What's your transfers? Who are you going to captain?
I'm probably gonna roll transfer.
Okie doke.
I am going to captain Salah. I am probably going to bench Sané because I dislike the man so much.
In a home game, it just feels wrong.
I don't think he's going to play. So what's the point?
Yeah. Okay. So Fraser to come in or Doherty to come in? Doherty, surely.
Doherty.
Yeah.
I'll play Doherty. I'm not going to play Fraser against Liverpool. I'm probably going to bench Sané. I'm probably going to bench Fraser, and Dean away he's going to do one as well. But I'm going to wait till my wild card to deal with him.
Okay.
Which may be upcoming sooner than I think if my love is back.
Okay, well, Kane back in could be a real game changer. Could really mix it up, mix up the template up top, because I think a lot of people are going to stick with Rashford and Jimenez and then one other. But that one other is quite a broad spectrum, I think, there, isn't there? There's people that have gone full on cheapy. There's people that have stuck with the one premium up top strategy. So of course that move to Kane, you could do that. But then, of course, you've got Son as well. So I don't think there'll be a rush back to Kane because I think a lot of people won't want to double up. But it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happens when he comes back. So there's your team.
Dare I play Dean?
Dare
I play him?
Who are they playing? Watford away? Nah.
Watford aren't exactly prolific.
You know
at
what
the
Dean
moment,
is
are
like?
they?
It's either a known goal or it's 17, though, isn't it? So
yeah,
do you take
and they're
the
not
risk?
exactly prolific.
Yeah, Dean, you could easily get hat-trick, couldn't he? But
Against Foster
could easily get sent off
in the last 10 minutes.
Don't start with... Foster clean sheets are an absolute staple of my FPL team.
I mean, that could be 0-0 that game, couldn't it? Boring Watford and
I'll take that.
Everton.
I'll
0-0.
take that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I could play Dean and then I'd have a clean sheet.
And by the way, don't talk my team out of a Foster clean sheet. That is... Apart from Bednarak, that's the only exciting thing about FPL for me at a weekend at the moment is Foster. So can we just leave Foster alone?
Leave Foster alone.
We need Ben Foster clean sheets. It's got to happen. Guys, that is it. Other than to say we're going to talk about some polls. Let's do the polls before we go.
No, we haven't done the... Where's he gone? Here he is.
Oh, we've got to do that. We've got to do Patreon League update as well. We've got to do that. Right, let's do the polls, guys. Let's get in the polls. Here we go. Where's he gone?
Where's he gone?
Sam, Game week 26, captain Salah, Aubameyang, Son, Pogba or Rashford?
I'll be captaining the Egyptian King.
The Egyptian King, Salah. Most of the community agree with you. 74% going with the Egyptian King, Mr. Mohamed Salah.
In there just for fun.
Aubameyang at 17%, Son in at 3, Rashford in at 3, Pogba in at 0. So Salah, the overwhelming favourite there. Is Son a must-have right now? I'm going to answer for you.
Yes.
78% of the community agree with you. Only 21% saying no. So an overwhelming yes that Son is a must-have right now. Under 7 million midfielders, Sam. Which of these represents the best value for money? Jota, Fraser, Ward-Prowse, Gross or Antonio?
Ward-Prowse for me.
Yeah, we've been bigging up Ward-Prowse a bit on this stream, haven't we? So we've probably got to stick with our man there. I'm not surprised, however, to see that Jota gets the majority of the vote at 53. With the Wolves fixtures coming up as they are, Jota continues to be a good pick. I just can't see past Jimenez right now. I just think Jimenez is an awesome pick, and the double up is, in my opinion, a bit too much. But I can see why you guys...
Well, it'll be treble with everyone's Doherty pick as well.
Possibly, but I can see why you guys, out of those 5, are going with Jota. I can see that. Fraser 19, Ward-Prowse in third with 14, Gross 11, Antonio with 0. Stick with your City players or sell, Sam. What are you going to do? Stick or sell?
Sell.
Sell, 69%. So 7 out of 10 of you, 70% almost are saying sell, and 31% of you are saying stick. So yeah, overwhelming favourite in terms of selling, in favour of selling City players. Probably sooner rather than later, right? Who is this player? Guys, we will give you 30 seconds to get into... Oh, we've got to do Jammy Picks as well, guys. You're quite right.
I've got that written down. So
You're quite right. Let's talk about this guy. Who is this? As most of you guys, or as a few of you guys correctly pointed out, is Mr. Tim Sherwood. A nice pick, actually, because we met him, didn't we? Down at the FPL show last week.
My photo taken with him,
Very nice man he was. Very
doesn't
nice
look
man.
anything like this.
Doesn't
Looks
look
like Theresa May.
Doesn't look anything like Tim Sherwood. And there's some awesome ones coming in from Ian Barrett. Is it McManaman? Carry256. Is it
Looks
Bentley?
more like McManaman.
J-Boy is saying, is that Lee from FPL Family? Is it
because the eyebrows? They were all going on about your eyebrows.
My eyebrows.
Well, the patrons, when I posted that picture, they were all going, had you had your eyebrows done for the
Really? No, I don't have my eyebrows done for the FPL show. My God. Oh my God. What has double gaming 25 done to us? What has it reduced us to? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, Jammy Pick. Right, Jammy Pick
Go
for
on,
this week.
Jammy Pick, before we descend into even more chaos.
I'm afraid...
Because I can't have my eyebrows done. So can you hurry up?
I'm afraid I'm putting my Spurs goggles well and truly back on.
Oh, get them off.
For this game week. And my Jammy Pick for this... I've had Spurs one this season, I don't think. It's Danny Rose. For this game week.
Quite like that. Okay.
5.8 million, 1.1% owned. I think he's going to have a cracker of a game week.
1.1% owned.
There you go, Danny Rose.
Danny Rose. And I think given the experiment of putting Vertonghen out there last game week that went horribly wrong, yeah, Danny Rose, I like it. Let's have a look at what the community are saying about Jammy Picks. Jeff is saying a James Milner penalty versus Bournemouth. Got a feeling James Milner's going to play, particularly if Trent's not going to play. I guess he's going to be back there at right back, James Milner.
Is he back for suspension now then?
Yes, he is. Yeah, and he had a particularly bad game against the games he's had to play at right back. He's been up against Felipe Anderson and Zaha. I mean,
he played in the Monday night,
against some real tough players there. So against Bournemouth, who would he be up against on that side? Who's left wing for them? Not Fraser, is it? Or is it Fraser? I think it is Fraser on that side, isn't it? So Fraser could have a good game against Milner. Who knows? Josh is saying Batshuayi, like that pick, Josh, like that. I'll be heavily scouting him this week. Let's see what a few of you guys are saying. Pascal Gross guide is saying Pascal Gross 1.7% owned. FPL Liam is saying Bednarek, love that. No long this week, felt like a change. Bednarek. That's Liam, who is the same Liam Riss that promotes Gabbiadini quite heavily on these live streams before he was become a non-entity.
So is Bednarek his replacement for Gabbiadini?
I think so. Okay. Sounds like it. Yeah. A couple more votes there from FPL Cloud and from Khalid to say Michy Batshuayi, still only 0.7% owned. An assist in his debut last game week. Only played 8 minutes, got an assist straight away. FPL Mechanics says Charlie Austin, 0.4% TSB. Very, very good. FPL Depression, Patrick Van Arnholt, 4.6%. Another one for Michy Batshuayi. Very good.
What is he doing there?
I don't know. What is that? That's the most random gif I've ever seen. Batshuayi again for FPL Tun. So there we go. I think he's a popular...
Has no one gone for Danny Rose?
No one's gone for Danny Rose, Sam. But the way that your previous Jammy pick, Mr. Glenn Murray, performed last time you chose him, I think he's got 4 goals since you picked him out as a Jammy pick. So Everyone in the live chat now is out scouting Danny Rose, if not bringing him in straight away.
Don't do that.
Let's see what you guys are saying on the live chat. Let's cancel that window down a second and move back up here. Let's go to the live chat. Kevin Melia, Rondon. Yes, Rondon has looked good of late, actually. And the Newcastle fixtures don't look too bad. I quite like that, Kevin.
And Wolves can't win on a Monday night, so you know.
Wolves can't win on a Monday. Another Sam stat. I love that. FPL Classico, Crouchy. Yes, I think Crouchy's going to be a jammy pick between now and the end of the season, isn't he? I think every week Crouchy's just going to get, you know, the jammy pick, honorary jammy pick. Denis Suarez, not kicked a ball yet for Arsenal, I don't think. Or maybe he came on for a bit in the last game. Denis Suarez, 0.3% TSB. In my opinion, is the most Arsenal signing ever. And if Nimfria's still here, I'm sure she'll agree with me. You know, what they really need is a really solid, ball-playing, solid central defender. Or, you know, they need some proper defender. So
right.
what they've gone and got a floppy-haired Spanish creative midfielder. They've got loads of those.
Yeah, but they want to get rid of some of them, that's why.
But isn't that just the most Arsenal signing ever? You need a defender, so go and get a Suarez. I don't know. Harvey Barnes, Yen Jui Mew is saying, Harvey Barnes, is he still 0.0% TSB? Goodness me. He did impress me, actually, last game he played. Did all right. Simon the Bomb, Crouch, he didn't play 14 minutes, got 4 points. What are you moaning about? Jammy Pitt, get him in.
Hero.
There we go. Hero. Delafeu, 1.8% TSB. So yeah, looks good. Some nice Jammy Picks in there, guys. But the FPL family Jammy Pick for this game week is
Danny Rose.
Danny Rose. Very, very good. All right.
Danny Rose.
Before we go, we're going to have a look at some leagues. I need to go to here. And then I need to go to the February Manager of the Month for our Patreon. So let's see who's setting the pace in the Patreon League. Tom Mikael Larson is doing very, very well indeed with 109. Nicholas is doing equally good at 101. Nicholas in at third. Mark, and then Dom, and then Frank, and then Phil, and then Sune. So there's loads of you guys are doing very, very well indeed. I'm down the bottom. I'm not going to scroll down. How are you getting on? Are you doing all right in this league?
30 odd something. I don't know.
30 odd something, so not that great. 40 points, 60 points, yeah, it's about halfway. So listen, guys, lots of football still to be played in our Patreon league. However, if you joined Patreon now, if you went and supported us on Patreon now, patreon.com/FPL Family, you could, of course, join the league, but you'd be a week behind. It's kind of pointless, right? Because you're probably not going to win. So what I would suggest you do is keep following us at FPL Family on Twitter. Keep joining in with the live streams. See how these guys are getting on. The winner, for those of you that have been listening to these streams regularly, will know that they will get a Premier League shirt of their choice, whoever wins in the February Manager of the Month. And if you do want to support us on FPL Family on Patreon, then of course you can. And we do our regular Friday podcast, our Ohana podcast. So there are some little extras there for our Patreons.
Oh yeah, we've got Ohana tomorrow.
So we've got an Ohana to do tomorrow. However, if you want to take part in March's Manager of the Month, my suggestion to you would be start looking at that towards the end of the month. Towards the end of the month, probably the best idea. But if you want to go and support us on Patreon, then of course we would love you to go and do that. And then you will get access to our Ohana podcast every Friday if that is something that you're interested in. So there we go. Well done to Tom. Well done to Nicholas and to Nicola. Setting the pace there.
Who wants an Edison shirt?
Someone wants an Edison shirt. Listen, I haven't made any rules about the shirt. If I can get the shirt, you can have the shirt. I don't know about putting a number on a name on the back. Because someone's going to have Mkhitaryan, aren't they? Or something like that.
You can just... Well, it is an Edison shirt, isn't it? A keeper shirt.
You can have Edison. Yeah, so who is that? J-Boy. If you win the Patreon League, you can have an Edison shirt. Really no issue.
Edison.
You wanted the Spurs third green shirt and the guys went out and got you it. So...
No, it's not to do with that. It's why Edison shirt?
Oh, it's your Edison thing coming out.
I just don't like Edison. Go for a Man City shirt for sure, but why the Edison one?
Well, Carry256, he's going Bradford City.
Can we even buy that? We'll just go
Toxic Fusion, I'd love a Declan Rice shirt. Listen, there's some great shirts out there. Listen,
that's actually not too bad because it's not far for us to go to West Ham to get a shirt.
What a good player he is as well.
Oh, Declan Rice.
Declan Rice, what a good player. Goodness me, a fantastic game against Liverpool. Guys, that is it for another episode of the FPL Family. Thank you very much for joining us. Good luck in Game Week 26. I do not want to hear any more about Game Week 25. It's done. We are not talking about it anymore. I'm not going to go on about it like I did with Game Week 19, whereas every week I gave you an update as to how I was recovering from Game Week 19. That just got boring for everybody. So I'm not going to... I do need a recovery plan from Game Week 25, but I'm just going to... I don't know. I put a tweet out there after Game Week 25 talking about, is it time now to start having a bit of fun? Is it time to start getting Batshuayi and Rondon and players like that? And looking at my team... how boring it is. I'm going rogue pretty soon. I can feel
God.
it. I can feel it, Sam. I'm going to go rogue pretty soon.
I'm dreading this. I am literally dreading it. The moaning that is going to come out of him when the players that he's currently got perform, and then he's got Batshuayi and Rondon who don't.
FPL for me can't be sitting in on a Saturday waiting for a Ben Foster clean sheet. That can't be FPL for me.
Well, that's what it has been for the last few weeks.
James Ward-Prowse coming in, I think, just for a bit of fun. 1.9% TSB.
I don't actually think that's that bad. I think that's a good pick. But...
And it would be so cathartic getting rid of a Richarlison. Oh, can't wait to get rid of that guy. Can't wait to get rid of Richarlison.
I'll be delighted for you when you get rid of Richarlison.
Goodness me. So there we go, guys. Green arrows for Game Week 26. Hopefully, that wasn't green arrows we've got any for you from Game Week 25. We absolutely haven't. But good luck in Game Week 26. There's our Twitter, at FPL Family. At FPL Family on Instagram as well, and indeed on Facebook if you search for us on Facebook. Look out, patrons, for an Ohana podcast that will hit the Patreon site tomorrow, probably at lunchtime-ish. We can find a bit of time there. Might just be you tomorrow. I'm quite busy at work tomorrow. Might be a Sam Ohana podcast.
What, me with a guest appearance from our 3-year-old then?
Could be. Could be. See what he thinks. He's just all about Harry Kane, isn't he?
Well, no, it'll be the little one. She's just singing Dele Alli.
She's all about Dele Alli, isn't she? Yeah.
She'll just be about Dele Alli tomorrow. You get a 10-minute Ohana podcast on Dele Alli.
Yeah, you'll get as much FPL insight from her as you would from me, to be fair.
Or probably more likely, she'll say, "Shh, I can't hear my iPad."
That's probably more like it. Probably more like it. Guys, good night. As ever, we'll be back on Sunday, 8 o'clock as usual, where we'll be reviewing Game Week 26, and obviously looking forward a bit to the Wolves game. The Wolves game will be Monday night. We won't have looked at Wolves versus Newcastle, but we will have looked at everything else, including Chelsea versus Man City, Liverpool be back to the top of the league. Everything will be hunky-dory again, guys. I'd have had a good game week. It'll be sunshine and rainbows, won't it?
Richarlison will be gone.
Got to be positive. Got to have a positive mental attitude. Guys, good night. Thank you for joining. Leave us a like before you go. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Hit the little notify bell so you know when we're live, and we will see you on Sunday. Cheers.
Green arrows, guys. Take care.